So we're not going to be using X-Plane today. Today's going to be more of a wrapper-up day. The next semester will start on January 20th, which is a Wednesday. It's the Wednesday after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So because we're not using X-Plane, it's going to be a little bit shorter of a day. And like I said, I'll wait just a moment for any other folks to come online. We actually do not have lab in Harrisburg this week. I'm sorry, I was mistaken. I was looking at the wrong schedule. My apologies. No labs after this until next semester. No webinars after this. And yeah, I'll wait just a minute before I get going. Start talking about some colleges. And if you would like to get started on the survey, it's a pretty short survey, I will send you the link right now. As this is also the link, the same link, if you need to type it out manually. So go ahead and get that going while we wait a couple minutes before we get started. Yeah, it's not too crazy a survey. It's literally just how'd you like the class, what would you like to see more of, what didn't you like, yada yada yada, fun stuff basically. I do see a question. That didn't take long. I told you it didn't. I just want to know how y'all feel about everything that we've done. Um, your feedback really does make a difference for us for the upcoming semesters, because I don't want to be teaching something that y'all aren't interested in. I want y'all to have fun and learn, and that's really what I'm looking for. So, to those of you that are just showing up, right now we are going over doing a quick survey before I go over my short lesson today. Samuel, I was incorrect. We do not have a lab in Harrisburg tomorrow. No lab. My apologies. I was looking at the wrong schedule. Yeah. So you're all good. Go ahead, do this survey. It's only going to take a couple minutes for you to do. I will get started on our short lesson in about 3-4 minutes. During that time, if you'd like to ask any questions at all about literally anything, or tell me about how excited you are about Star Wars, or anything, you may. Because I'm real excited. It's coming so soon. Yeah, I wish I can go to the premiere, but I cannot, unfortunately. Yeah, so y'all are pretty excited about it as well. I think I've asked this before, but I'll ask again. Which Star Wars movie was your favorite out of all the 6 so far? All of them? Okay, fair answer. My favorite is New Hope. Return of the Sith, okay. I think 3 was the best of the new movies. Yeah, New Hope all the way for me, even though I really also like Empire Strikes Back. Can't go wrong with that one. If you're just now showing up, we're waiting a couple minutes before we get started. There is a link that I'll send one more time in the chat box, or I have it right here, all big on your screen, for you to fill out. It's just about your experience with the class. And yeah, your favorite is all of them too. Okay. Can't complain about liking all of them, you know. And I still have not seen the Clone Wars yet. Heard that's pretty good as well. You're gonna go see it in IMAX 3D. Oh man, that'll be awesome. You're gonna miss the next few weeks. Why is that? You doubt James Earl Jones will be there though. It's okay. They'll find some other way to do it, and you won't see it for a while. It's also okay. I'm trying to go see it on Christmas. Oh, the webinar's being done. Yeah, I know, but don't worry. We'll start back up in about a month or so. Because he voiced Darth Vader? Yeah. You wish George Lucas was directing the movie? I don't. I like what J.J. Abrams did with the Star Trek movies. At least the first one. The second one was kind of iffy. So, I'm pretty excited what he could do with Star Wars. But, is Darth Vader even in the new movie coming out? I don't think he is. Even though it would be great to have some more James Earl Jones in there. Yeah, that's my big problem with Abrams. Lens flares. Oh, I didn't know he was dead. Okay, well that makes a difference then. Shh. It's okay. Alright, let's go ahead and go what I was going to go over for today. So I did give you the survey. I'll put the survey back up if you haven't done it when I'm done with my little spiel today. What we're going to go over today is some engineering colleges, specifically the big ones in the nation, some options for you in the future when you do, hopefully when you do decide to go continue your education after high school. I know it's a while away, but you might think about it now. And a couple things to keep your brain sharp over the next couple weeks. So here I've got a list of the top 12 engineering schools. What I did not add here is that number 13 is NC State, and if anybody says otherwise, then boo on you. So these are the most prestigious engineering schools probably in the United States. And I will be going over a couple of them in a little bit more detail right now. So I'm going to be talking about the average tuition and enrollment for these schools, as well as their relative locations. Number one the best. MIT is widely regarded as the best engineering school, probably in one of the ones in the world, to be honest, but it's a pretty intense school to get into. So every year, at least as of 2012, you are expected to pay $42,000 for tuition and fees. MIT Boston is a private school, hence why it's so expensive. It's not funded at all by the state. The enrollment is pretty tiny, just over 4,000, and so therefore it is very selective. So if you want to go into MIT, you gotta be the best, like no one ever was. And it is in downtown Boston, as anybody that plays Fallout can attest to. It is in an urban setting. It's very well known for math, science, and engineering education. Well, I guess it's called Commonwealth Institute of Technology in Fallout, but you hate it when the director's new, has no idea what happened in past movies, and makes dead characters come back to life. Does that happen often, Lauren? Normally, directors are pretty, you know, sticklers for continuity, but I didn't know that happened often. Because, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. That would really bother me. And some of that can be chalked to just different directors and slightly different universes or whatever. Like Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man, but I don't know. So that's MIT. Really, really big school. Number 2 is Stanford. We got another private school here, so it's a little bit more expensive, I think. No, a little bit less expensive than MIT. A little bit higher enrollment, and it's not in the downtown of a city. It's just sort of in the suburbs, and it's really well known for its research projects. You'll see in the news all the time, researchers at Stanford University, blah, 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 blah. They're very big on research. That's where they really do their big thing. So if you're more interested in doing research than so much hands-on engineering, Stanford might be the place for you if you can afford it. So number 3 is California Institute of Technology. A little bit less than $40,000 a year, and a very tiny enrollment. But that ends up being a good thing, which I'll explain in a second. It's also in a suburban setting, so you're not going to be stuck in the hustle and bustle of a downtown setting. And it has a very low student-to-faculty ratio of 3:1, so that's 3 students for every professor. That's awesome. Can I tell you how many students usually were in my classes for one professor and maybe a couple teacher's assistants? I had 50, 60 students in one class. 60 students to 1 kid. So this is an amazing ratio here. We get yet another Californian university. This one you've probably heard of, UC Berkeley. This is a public school, so if you do have, if you do have residency in California, which I know you don't, but, you know, maybe you can finagle away. It's pretty cheap to go there, about $12,000. A lot more expensive if you're coming from elsewhere. The enrollment's a lot higher because it is a public university, and it also is in the downtown Berkeley area of, where is Berkeley, LA, I think. But anyways, what's cool about this is because it has higher enrollment, there's a lot more organizations that you can get involved with, so you can make a lot of connections, you can make friends, that'll hopefully help you get jobs in the future. So then we get to Georgia Tech. What am I going to do with you, Georgia Tech? Georgia Tech's a very good deal if you have residency in Georgia, just over $10,000. And if you don't, we're looking at about $30,000 once again. A little bit higher enrollment, and you're sitting there in the smack dab of downtown Atlanta, Georgia. If you've ever been to Atlanta, it's a pretty hectic place to be driving in. Kind of expensive. But it's a pretty cool place, lots of stuff going on there all the time. Very good school, even though I can't support them. I mean, I guess it's not that I can't support them. They do a lot of really good research and stuff like that, but I won't support them. One of my old friends in high school always gives me flack about going to state, because they went to Georgia and they have a really fancy job or something. I'll never support it. But anyways, it's a good school, so don't hate me just because I'm saying stuff about it. And Mr. D actually gets a little bit funny in just a second here, too, about his schools of choice. So now we're talking about the University of Illinois. No offense, UNC fans, but the only ones. Okay. University of Illinois, I don't know much of anything about them, other than what's on this slide here. So a little bit more expensive, even though it is a public school. Um, but it's a little bit cheaper for out-of-staters. A little bit higher enrollment. It's actually about the same as NC State's, as well as being in a city. So from what I can imagine, this is a very similar school to NC State, but probably because of the selectivity of people they admit into engineering, that's why this school is so prestigious. So, Mr. D, how selective are they? I cannot tell you. Like I said, I don't know anything about them beyond what's on this slideshow. So, if you give me a second, I can go check it out. Let's see what the acceptance rate is. Well, that's saying it's 62, but I don't know what the engineering acceptance rate is. Alright, so it looks like that's a little bit misleading. It looks like the selectivity is about 60%, whereas most engineering schools are at 64%, so it's a little bit more selective than some schools, and I'm not sure if that's graduation rate included or not. So, I guess it's not terribly selective, especially compared to MIT. No offense to UNC fans, but the only way you would get there would be to take fake classes. Well, that's a discussion for a different time. UNC is a good school, except for all the stuff that they've been getting into with the sports and stuff. But I don't want to get in arguments with anyone, but go State, yeah. So Mr. D went to Ohio State, and so his take on the University of Michigan Ann Arbor is not great, but it is a very good school. So actually the Michigan public university system is the best in the nation. So any Michigan college that's public is a good place to, go to. And I agree, go Pack. Now, it's about the same price as the other schools to be expected. A little bit lower enrollment. And also in downtown Ann Arbor. And almost half of the classes that they do there have fewer than 20 students. So remember what I said about having 50, 60 students in my classes here. Fewer than 20 students would be amazing. And I'm kind of jealous. That's one of the few weird things about NC State. But then again, I had a very small graduating class. I only had like 30 people in my degree, so that's about the same there. So the next school's the Carnegie Mellon University. It's another private school, so it's very expensive. Not a lot of enrollment, but it is in downtown wherever. I don't know where. It's founded by the industrialist and philanthropist Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in American history and probably one of the richest men of all time. He was a steel tycoon, so cool stuff. So, a couple questions here. Side note, Liberty University has a 7% acceptance rate. Oh my gosh, I'd be so sad if I didn't get in, but I guess nobody else would have too. Now, Lauren's saying your school has mixed grades, and in total you have 16 kids. Well, it's a little bit different when you're in, like, higher education. Oh, in your class. Oh, okay, I thought you meant in your school, and I'm like, dang. And that's really nice to have. The fewer students there are per teacher, in general, the better. You'll do better in classes if you have fewer students because your teacher can give you so much more individual help. But some people like the anonymity of being in big classes. I like it to an extent. I don't know. So then we get to Cornell, another private school, about the same price. Medium size enrollment. And unlike the rest of these schools, this is actually in a rural setting. Where is it? I don't know, somewhere up north. But Cornell is known for having very great research centers. They do multiple types of research for like nanotechnology and supercomputing, among other things. Very prestigious school as well. You can't go wrong with Cornell. Next look over is Princeton. It's probably the cheapest of the public or private schools, and it has a very small enrollment, as well as being in the suburbs, so you're not stuck being downtown. And this is a very, very, very big thing for y'all. This university does not let students that can't afford the school take out loans. The university will give out grants. Now, the gravity of this is sort of lost upon you guys, but right now, people that are my age, in average, have like $50,000 to $75,000 of student loans that they have to repay. That means almost everybody that is mid-20s that goes to college, almost everybody, is super broke all the time and has to repay a whole bunch of debt. But not if you go to Princeton. So it might be a good place to go to if we don't overhaul the loan situation. And that is a lot of money. I got very lucky. I don't have to pay anything back. I got very lucky in terms of having to deal with my grandma dying, but it means I didn't have to pay out pocket for school. So if you can get a job right at 15 or 16, start saving some money, definitely do that. Yeah, I don't have loans because something bad happened, but it's okay. It's alright. Stuff happens. That's life. So be very careful, try to get scholarships, be the best you can be so you don't pay these stupid loans. You're getting a job in January? Wow, how old are you? Are you working for like a parent? Or a relative? Or Chick-fil-A maybe, because I think Chick-fil-A will hire. Ah, Publix. I didn't know they hired that young. That's awesome. Just make sure not to spend money on stupid stuff like I did as a teenager. So. You say that, but you will. Don't worry. I was your age at one point. So, a couple more schools before I talk about some other options here, assuming that you want to go into a four-year university. Talking about Purdue, which is very cheap in state and pretty cheap out of state. Pretty big enrollment. It's also pretty selective. Let's see what the selectivity looks here. It's about the same. A little bit below the average engineering selection rate. But, you know, it's one of those things where they have a big name for a good reason. Alright. So here's my last one here. Your dad's already planned that you're going to state. And state's a great school. I will never complain about state, and it's only getting better and better with all the work that they're doing to it. So, I really like state. I don't have any regrets. So, finally, University of Texas at Austin is going to be our number 12 on the list. Once again, pretty moderately priced, whether in-state or out-of-state, but it's an enormous enrollment, way bigger than NC State is, which is at 34,000. And it's in the city. It has a huge Greek population, so if you're interested in going into a fraternity or sorority, that might be a good place to go into. I actually have a friend that's going to grad school there. Great school. You really can't go wrong. All these schools are great. You can't go wrong. It's just getting into them that's the hard part. And paying for them as well. The exception of Princeton. So you can't forget about NC State. What? Anyways, so in terms of the world, I actually haven't taken a look at this site yet, so let's see what the world has to say about the top engineering schools. It looks like Caltech is number one on this one, but I don't feel like scrolling through all this list. MIT, Stanford, I don't know where that is. Basically all schools that we've already gone over. Let's see if NC State's even on this list. Purdue, Oxford. I bet you it's not. But it should be. What? Oh, that's what it said, South Carolina. Oh, there we go! What? 38! This is a really weird picture of the school they chose. I don't even know where this is. I think it's the library. What was the Pennsylvania one? I don't know, let me see. It's not that, I don't think. UP. So cool, yeah. Good to know. So, the reason I went over this is just assuming that straight out of high school, you intend to go to a 4-year college. But I'm going to be real, that's not necessarily the best option for everybody. Whether it be because of financial constraints or because you're not, I don't know, mentally or emotionally or maturely ready to go off to college on your own. Community college is a very good option for the first couple years, or if you just want to get a associate's degree. So for example, if you want to go into engineering technology or radiation or medical technology, so be maybe a CT scan tech, or be a plumber or a dental hygienist, you're better off going to a community college just because it is infinitely cheaper. So a lot of people, what they'll do is go to a community college for 2 years and then transfer to a 4-year college for the last couple years of their degree. So you can save literally hundreds of thousands of dollars if you do this right. So a couple of schools that are known for their tech, community colleges that are known for their tech presence include CPCC in Charlotte. So I actually even took a class here back when I lived in Charlotte. They have all sorts of different trades. I don't know what else I'm going to say about that other than you can get 70% of a 4-year degree done in 2 years at CPCC. So which means you can take all your calculus, you can take all your stupid classes that are probably going to be harder at a 4-year college and get them out of the way, keep your GPA up high, and spend the last 2 years at a 4-year college and graduate with a pretty good degree. And it's a pretty student-centered school. They have a lot of student teachers. They do have programs there. And like I said, there's 2 routes that you can do. The introductory classes for the first 2 years, then transfer to a 4-year school at year 3. Or if you don't quite want to go all the way for an engineering degree, you can get an associate degree or a technical certification. So maybe if you wanted to be a welder or a plumber or an electrician or something like that, they can train you hands-on and it'll lead you directly to a job. They work very closely with industry in Charlotte. But yeah, my mom, for example, when she's got out of the hospital fairly recently, and almost all of her nurses were transfers out of CPCC. So, getting a job straight out of college is a real good thing. Now, I don't know much about Tidewater Community College in Virginia, but I'm assuming it would be on the coast, just a wild guess. So they do have an engineering and information technology degree there, so not a bad option in terms of tech schools. And finally, Monroe Community College in New York State also has a very widely renowned tech program. So just saying, if you don't want to do 4-year, you can still get a technical degree at a 2-year college. It's a good option. So on that note, couple things that you might be interested in to keep yourself sharp over the holiday break. So if you're coming back to Young Engineers, you might want to take a look at these, if you get a chance to. There's this website, Ion Future, which will let you go very far into depth about STEM careers. This is what I still want to do with my life. Create Mars rovers and stuff. But not only will it let you explore careers, it will also sort of help you get on the right track for getting to the career that you want, as well as let you play some games. So if you go to the website, I'll show you the link. It's Ion Future, right? Yeah, Ion Future. You can explore the careers, see exactly what they do, and there's also options to see how that you become this. So if you want to become a vet, you got to get good grades, you got to take a bunch of science in high school, go to a 4-year college, major in science, and then go to school for more to earn a doctorate. So obviously medical professionals, a ton of schooling you'll have to do. You don't even need all that much schooling for engineering compared to medical. But so if you want to do something like this, or if you're interested in getting into maybe computer science or aerospace engineering or stuff like that, good resource for you there. Now, one of the games they have on here is the STEM Career Quest. So it will let you, I can't remember specifically about how you do this, but it will, based on the fast track here, you will be able to play through sort of your education and see if you know the exact steps to becoming, say, a veterinarian or an aerospace engineer or whatever you want to be. So ionfuture.org. If anyone's interested in using that as a resource in your future. Another game that we've got here is the Solar Car game, which is literally a game that will let you virtually create solar cars and race them to see if you are making them correctly. So, you get to design them and everything too, so it's a little bit fun in that regard. So, you can find that at tryengineering.org/solar.php. So, if you are interested in keeping your brain sharp so you don't rot your brain eating all sorts of food and stuff over your break. The other website is called ionfuture.org. And this is really probably one of the best. I'd write it down or bookmark it or something if I were you. Also, if anyone's interested, you have my email. I have gone through all this engineering stuff. I can give you advice. I mean, take it with a grain of salt, of course, but I'm more than willing to talk to you about proceeding in the engineering world. So don't be afraid to ask me. You know my email, saunders.yeot@gmail.com. Or, you can email me over the break or next year. You can find me when I'm teaching and, go from there. So before I go back to the link for the survey, I just really want to say thank you so much for participating this semester with Young Engineers of Today. I can't even tell you how much of a pleasure it was to be able to teach you, and I hope that our class was informative and fun and that you had a really good time. Because I know I did. I love teaching y'all. I love doing this here. Getting to teach cool stuff. And, yeah. So, I do see a couple people that are intending to come back for next semester, and I'm really excited to see you then, if that is the case. And other than that, I don't have much else to say. Alright, so Lauren, Samuel, looks like you're going to be back. Excellent. I love having people return back. I love getting to know you over, over periods of time, and y'all get to know me too, so. So that said, I don't have anything else to lecture on. I would like for you, if you haven't already, to do this quick survey for us. You can find out this link, and I will one more time send it in the chat box. You are free to go once you've done that survey, and I just say bye to me, and I wanted to say bye to you. Thank you so much. And thank you very much, Lauren, for being here this semester, and I can't wait to see you next semester, as well as Hannah. So, it's not like it's goodbye forever. And take care, Samuel. I'll miss you too, and I'll miss all of you, sincerely. No, you think you will be? Okay. Well, I hope you are. And I know it's a month, but we can handle this next month. And so, take care if you're heading out. Have a good holiday, and thank you very much